Hey guys, Mark Parsons here with Remax and your Port Coquitlam Real Estate Market Update. Last month, Port Coquitlam inventory was up and sales transactions were down. Inventory was up 73% over the same period last year for detached homes, and sales transactions were down 45%. We've been seeing this for a few months now, almost up to 6 months of elevated levels of inventory. Less sales transactions, and it's now starting to reflect back on prices. For detached homes, the average sale price in Port Coquitlam was $950,000, which was actually down 10% from the same year prior. The absorption rate was at 12%. This puts Port Coquitlam detached homes in a balanced market, but this was trending downward from what we saw last month. The list price to sales price ratio is at 95%, so on average, homes are selling about 5% less than the asking price, and the most active price band for Port Coquitlam detached homes was between $800,000 and $900,000, and this had an absorption rate of 19%, so it was still in a balanced market, even though that was the hottest pocket of the market for detached homes there. Buyers' best bet were homes between 1.25 and 1.5 million, and up in Citadel, what we're seeing is it's the higher priced homes that are being hit the most, and this is where buyers have the least competition and most negotiating power. Now, seller's best bet was in Riverwood, which had a absorption rate of 50%, which is an extremely strong seller's market. So if you were selling in Riverwood, you were good. This is the fourth consecutive month in a balanced market for Port Coquitlam detached homes. Port Coquitlam condos and townhomes, same story. Inventory was up substantially and sales transactions were down. Last month for condos and townhomes, inventory was up 175% from the same period last year. That's almost an extra 2 homes for every 1 home on the market there was a year ago. And with that, sales transactions were down 36% year over year. So the average price for Port Coquitlam townhomes and condos last month was $492,500. Even with elevated inventory and lower sales transactions, average sale price is still up 14% year over year for condos and townhomes in Port Coquitlam. The absorption rate was in a seller's market, 32%, which is a pretty strong seller's market for condos and townhomes in Port Coquitlam. And the list to sale price ratio was 99%. So on average, homes were selling about 1% less than the asking price. So very close to what the sellers were asking for. The most active price band was between $300,000 and $400,000, where the absorption rate was 52%. So a very strong seller's market. Half of everything on the market last month sold. The buyer's best bet was between $700,000 and $800,000 in Citadel, Glenwood, Maryhill, and also for 4-bedroom properties. Now, seller's best bet was in central Port Coquitlam, Riverwood, and 1-bedroom properties. The properties that are still moving very fast are the lower price, so 1-bedrooms are really moving quick, and between $300,000 and $400,000. Although the market in terms of the absorption rate month after month has been trending down since about March, it has remained in a seller's market for condos and townhomes in Port Coquitlam. That's it for this month. Thanks for listening, guys.